One percenters, welcome back. Coach Tommy, it's Christmas time, separation season. People are taking time off. Gives me more time to watch these videos. Unstoppable offense, Indiana Pacers, 309 points.
That's insane.
Defense wins championships.
How do you make the video so people know it's crazy?
Yeah, right.
What is happening with offenses?
Offenses are putting in more work to become better at offense, and the rules are in
We've
favor
just
of the
experienced
offense.
the most efficient opening month of a season we've ever seen. And the Pacers are the highest scoring team in league history right now,
Lots of
averaging
threes and lots of possessions.
128 points per game. They currently have the most efficient offense of all time, and they play at a breakneck pace, which set up this epic showdown with the Hawks during the
Watch the
NBA
Pacers.
Cup. Atlanta scores on a putback here, and Tyrese Halliburton just takes off like he...
What tells me if you can score a lot is that you put in time offensively. What tells me if you're efficient is that you don't have a lot of decisions. You don't have to think a lot. So the coaching, whoever the coach is there, the roles are very, very clearly defined. If you're out in an open transition, shoot a three. If you're open, shoot a three. No hesitating, no passing, no mid-range shots. The quicker you make decisions, the better you're going to play. The quicker you can identify what you need to do. So if rules, laws, things are very, very clearly defined, the game gets really, really easy and simplified. So
He stole something,
think about that.
touches the paint in 3 seconds, then looks it out to a shooter, and that is an easy 3 points. DeJounte Murray throws the ball out of bounds, and before you can say peach basket, Halliburton presses fast forward, gets right into a high-speed pick and roll, and hits another shooter. And those were dead ball situations. So when the Pacers get a stop and can run in transition, it's like a track meet where everyone's goal is to sprint to the line. This isn't complex offense. They just all
it's everybody got the green light.
start sprinting the second they get it. And when the team shoots 39%
Pass,
from downtown,
pass.
defenses have to pick their poison.
No dribbling.
Go back 2 plays. Murray's matched up with Halliburton. By moving toward him in that split second instead of sprinting back, Tyrese can break free, and that forces a second defender to come help. The Hawks need to execute a perfect switch behind the play. They don't, and that turns into target practice for the Pacers shooters. They agree, and
I talk about first four all the time,
2
right?
plays. Murray's
Doesn't matter in transition. Life is in transition. The whole game is in
matched
transition.
up with Halliburton. By
Okay.
moving toward him
Everybody's ready to go, especially Tyrese Halliburton. He's the one with the motor. He's the one running,
in that
right? DeJounte Murray goes towards him.
split
The
second,
big man is
instead of sprinting
cruising.
back, Tyrese can break
Okay.
free.
He
and
blows
that
past
forces a
everybody.
second defender to come help. The Hawks need to execute a perfect switch behind the play. They don't, and that turns into target practice for the Pacers shooters.
He's looking for three because he could have passed
This
to Obi
time
Toppin
Murray
right there,
makes
number
a
one.
90s style jumper on the baseline and then talks to the ref on his way back. And you can't do that against Indiana's pace, so it turns into an easy layup. And that only happened because in 1 second, they inbounded the ball.
Milliseconds
This
matter.
defender thinks he needs to switch over to Halliburton. That might have actually worked out okay, but Aaron Nesmith took off from the corner. Clint Capella was supposed to guard him. So there's one defender back to stop 2 Pacers, meaning this defender actually needs to switch on to Nesmith. Capella flies out of the play, and Trae Young is just way too small.
Too little.
The Hawks are actually right behind Indiana in pace, so they push it down your throat after a make 2. And Trae is always testing defenders in early
Trey doesn't have the motor. He doesn't have the motor to push the ball up and push the pace like Tyrese Halliburton. Halliburton will advance the ball. Trae Young doesn't really advance the ball. He's more of a scorer than
offense,
anything.
going pick and roll.
He's got
and
nice
this
vision,
backline
but he doesn't
defender
have
needs
any
to
speed.
rotate. But when Trae looks left, he thinks the threat is gone, and boom goes the dynamite. neither of these teams are great defensively, especially the Pacers.
Bogey.
So this matchup was primed for offensive fireworks. I mean, nobody attempts to stop the ball here, but these offenses are extraordinarily difficult to.
Some rules like don't foul. It's part of the positioning or the planning and the strategy of the team. If you don't foul them, they don't get free throws. If you don't get free throws, the team can't get back. So you want everything in transition.
Anyway, the Pacers switch this pick and roll, so Trey destroys their center with a Smitty. And naturally, Indy wants to avoid that switch. Only putting 2 defenders on the ball exposes them elsewhere, and the Hawks have a ton of shooters too. The whole league runs these 3-man pick and rolls, where the big sets a ball screen and then a shooter screens the big man. But this is misdirection for a back screen to spring that big, who then spins it off the glass for an and one with some award-winning English. And this is really filthy because Bruce Brown doesn't want to leave the shooter on this play because that man, Bogdan Bogdanovic, came out in the second quarter, flamed on this play. And this
offense
is really filthy
always wins. Whatever you choose is wrong.
Bruce Brown doesn't want to leave the
So they put Bruce Brown in a position to make a decision.
shooter on this
Guard the cutter.
play.
Stay with the shooter. He holds up the cutter just a little bit.
Because that man, Bogdan Bogdanovic, came out in the second quarter, flame-throwing, hitting 5 straight shots, including this no-dip catch-and-shoot 3,
Bogey.
then following that one up with a little drifting fadeaway 3 over on the wing, and finishing it with this pure heat check off a handoff, and somehow he was only the 3rd hottest player in this game. Trae Young was on one all night, finishing 13 of 17 from the floor, engaging in some sort of personal quest to see how far out he could splash threes from. And I don't know how defenses are supposed to take away these 30-foot shots. The dude isn't even in the picture here and launches it out near half court.
Defense, yeah, focus on your
Dude
defense.
isn't even in the picture here.
What are you going to do about that? What are you going to do about that? He can practice a million of those.
Launches it out near half court.
That's insane.
And then there's Halliburton, who absolutely lost his mind in the third quarter, pouring in 26 points on 7 of 8 threes in that single period. This is just a simple sideline screen for Tyrese. DeJounte Murray thinks he's going around it, so he goes to switch, realizes he's shooting, and at that point it's too late. This is where Halliburton's spectacular passing comes into play. When defenses try to stop this sideline screening action, if 2 defenders commit to Hallie's shot, the roll man can run free, and that's usually
Halliburton
going
has
to be
decent
a layup.
vision.
So when the
Good
Pacers set
motor.
up this screen, the guard takes away the roll man, the big man switches out
Seems
to the
like a good
ball,
shooter.
but Tyrese just shoots it from the logo.
My goodness.
Finally, Atlanta's able to push him toward the sideline on one, but he just crosses back for daylight and hits another one. And how do you stop this?
This is crazy.
Halliburton is the
love
pace
the joy
car
he
for
plays with.
Indy's high-octane offense.
Oh, it's a perfect
Finding
name.
shooters in transition,
Buddy.
and his processing speed and passes are so fast that 9 times out of 10, he's right on the money with his decisions.
He has a little
He
flair
does
to
this
it.
in the half court too, sprinting into staggered screens here, so a second defender jumps out
a
in
dribble
case
release.
he shoots, but that leaves another shooter open to decisions.
This is a
He does this in the
secret
half
little
court
skill
too,
here. Okay, instead of
sprinting
being in timed with the ball there,
into staggered
okay,
screen
throw it out in front.
here, so
run
a
with
second
it.
defender jumps out in case he shoots, but that leaves another shooter open up top. And at full speed, look how hard it is to recover to that shooter. And nope, it's a layup.
He already
He
had
pushes
the pass.
and at full
if he wanted
speed,
to.
look how hard it is to recover to that
Right here, he already had it behind the back with the right.
shooter.
He also had it coming back with the left hand if he wanted to.
And nope, it's a layup.
Whatever you choose is
He
wrong.
pushes it into the front court in 2 seconds. They go to that sideline screen. He looks to hit the roller, realizes there's a better pass in
All the way to the
mid-air,
corner.
somehow
Yep.
skips it all the way to the corner, and Murray's late to help again.
It's just a
I'm
super
not
long
the
closeout.
roller realizes there's a better pass in mid-air.
This is not a good pass because if it was a good pass, it'd be a wide open
Somehow
three.
skips it all
It's
the
a
way to
high
the
pass. Buddy's got to go jump to get it. Bogey.
corner.
Okay, closes out a little bit too aggressively, gets too close, and then
Murray's
it's just a long
late
closeout.
to help. Again,
DeJounte Murray's
the
making business
roller
decisions at the rim.
realizes there's a better pass in mid-air.
He's
Somehow
no shot blocker.
skips it all the way to the corner.
He get paid to
and
take
Murray's
charges.
late to help again.
You get paid to get buckets.
I'm not sure anyone has a sharper double-edged sword right now than Halliburton's quick release pull-up three and his deadly ability
not
to
quick
gut
release.
teams with bullet passes. Look at this 4D
Obi Toppin
chess.
playing down
He's
there.
open, but ball fakes to a teammate instead. Acts like he doesn't see the deadly Buddy Hield, but he's just playing chicken with Joel Embiid. And when Embiid drifts too far to the perimeter, Halliburton sees a layup opportunity instead. Despite leading the league in assists with a whopping 12 per game, Hallie has one of the lowest turnover percentages in the league.
That
And
pass got
he's never
tipped.
shot
That's a
stead
bad pass.
with Joel Embiid, ball fakes to a teammate instead.
Okay, right here, he already had Buddy Hield. If he swung it there, Buddy Hield would get it at the top. Joel Embiid's not covering that space by the time Buddy can shoot
Actually,
it.
He doesn't see the deadly Buddy Hield, but he's just playing chicken with Joel Embiid. And when Embiid drifts too far to the perimeter, Halliburton sees a layup opportunity instead. Despite leading the league in assists with a whopping 12
This thing got tipped.
per game,
I guess not a good pass. Like they're all in a straight line. Miles Turner
Hallie
overran
has
that.
one of the lowest turnover percentages in the league. And he's never shot under 40% from three in a season, even though he takes nearly 9 per game.
That boy shoots 40%.
He's also surrounded
Those
by
are
a bunch
ugly,
of
but
shooters
dang.
who are willing to run hard in transition and fire without much daylight. And he's in a system with tons of screening and movement that unlocks that passing.
Obi.
This starts as a basic pick for the ball. The guard then flares out off another screen. That screener acts like he's going to screen for
Miles Turner's
Tyrese, but
developed
slips to
into
the
a
rim
three-point
instead,
shooter.
which collapses the defense, and then he can kick it out for a wide open three. This time, it's one of those nasty three-man screening actions. The guard slips out.
If you're trying to learn how to play basketball, if you want to be good at basketball, right? You need someone who can make really, really good decisions. And then you just need other people to execute the stuff. So if you're a corner shooter, just
Right
be the
in front
corner
of the
shooter.
big man, which creates a ton of defensive confusion, and it's another dime for Halliburton. Atlanta actually creates
this
a
guy on the
ton
bottom,
of
I don't know who
defensive
that is.
confusion.
He's guarding
and it's
Obi Toppin.
another
I don't
dime.
think he's a three-point shooter. So he shouldn't be giving up that thing. The pass that you should be giving up is the one all the way to Obi Toppin.
Halliburton.
But
Atlanta actually tried trapping Tyrese in the backcourt to slow him down, but even then he found a weakness, and that gashed the Hawks. But they were determined to force
you
someone
don't
else
press
to
NBA
beat
players
them.
because they could always
Murray's
pass over the
glued
top.
to him here, so Hield pops, and he makes some nonsensical shot. And then a minute later, they're still denying Halliburton the ball.
only really start
So
to play
he
defense
makes some
in the fourth
nonsensical
quarter.
shot. And then a minute later, they're still denying Halliburton the ball. So Buddy just turns into Steph Curry with the relocation three.
Trae Young
With the
don't try
score
as hard on defense as he does on
147,
offense.
143,
So
Trae
you can
says,
always-
don't worry about it, and steps back for three more.
You can always exploit
and
him,
when it's the pace,
but
Trae
it's
says, don't
offense and
worry about
defense,
it,
man.
and steps back for three more. And when it's the Pacers' turn, the Hawks spring a trap on Halliburton. But Atlanta's also freaked out by Hield shooting, and that leaves no one at the rim.
Bruce Brown, huge
With 2
pickup
minutes
for the
to play
Pacers.
in a 149-146 game, Hield stays with
The difference between
with
the
2
Hawks
minutes to play. Also
and
freaked out by Hield shooting,
okay, they're scared to get it out of Halliburton. They give it up to Bruce
and
Brown.
that leaves no one at the rim.
So you get 3-on-2 on the back end.
With 2 minutes to play in a
And then here, this is more isolation. Is it Trae Young's turn or DeJounte's turn?
149-146.
It's just isolation. There's no action. There's no three-man game. There's no double stagger at the top. No two guys in the corner.
Game. Hield
So you're just going to go one-on-one.
stays with Murray, but he
Okay. So no help comes. And
flips it in.
reasonable shot. Can
Anyway,
you make it? Yes.
And after a rare empty trip for the Pacers, Young goes to the
Okay, so now it's Trae Young's turn. He's a little bit smaller, not as explosive as DeJounte. Better range, better
redux
handle.
with another step back, and the Hawks are in the lead. Of course,
Trae Young's
after a
cold.
rare empty trip for the Pacers,
Feet on the line.
Young goes to the redux with another step back, and the Hawks are in
Between
the
the legs,
lead.
misdirection.
Of course,
Step back.
Indiana comes right back. They don't trap Halliburton, so he kicks it over to Hield, and Sadiq Bey and Trey botch the switch. Young lunges.
He already
of
had
course, Indiana comes right
rookie,
back.
Matherin
They
or
don't
something?
trap Halliburton.
No, he has the guy right there wide open if he wants to pass it to him for a shot. Okay, this stuff don't work later when when you get more tighter possessions and stuff when the referees call the game
So
differently.
he kicks it
Okay, but the Hawks don't play good defense.
over to Hield,
Not even reasonable defense.
and Sadiq Bey and Trey botch the switch. Young lunges at the shot. Only Murray isn't there to contest
He could easily penetrate that gap and kick it to the wing.
because he's stuck out on Hallie, and it's like there's a magnet in the hoop. The Hawks go back to the isolation set for DeJounte.
Again?
He loses it, but it ends up with Bey, who ties the game.
Tries to go to the
The
same
Hawks
move
go
he did
back to the
earlier.
isolation set for
Try to
DeJounte.
come back across the body.
He loses it, but it ends up with Bey, who ties
Buddy
the
Hield was
game
there.
at
Lucky bounce.
152. And remember when I said a third player caught fire in this one? Well, that was the fourth quarter inferno known as Buddy Hield.
Simple stop into a three.
That one put Indiana up 155-150, known as Buddy
Like, what do you do against this?
Hield. That one put Indiana up 155-152,
Oh, Trae
and
Young
after a
with the D.
chaotic final possession, the Pacers held on to win the first game in NBA history where chaotic final
Dejounte Murray,
possession.
this is when you need the speed, when you need the athleticism. He doesn't have any finishing here.
Pacers held on to win the
Does he have the
first
vision
game.
to drop
That
it
one
off
put
for a
Indiana
dunk?
up
No.
155-152, and after a chaotic final
Like
possession,
right here, he's slowing down. Boom. Can you slow down enough and just drop it off to that guy?
the Pacers held
rim
on to
runner.
win the first game in NBA history where both teams posted a 140 offensive rating and shot over 60% from the floor. So even with some of that shaky defense, this would have been a good shooting game in an empty gym. Let's zoom out and put all this madness into perspective.
Rating by month.
Until 2020, the best offense in NBA history scored about 116 points every 100 possessions. But in recent months, the league average offensive rating has passed 116, and so the best offense 5 years ago might be less efficient than an average team today. And that's all happened because of the unparalleled shooting skill, improved offensive strategy, and relentless pace that is turning some of these NBA contests into a real-life video game.
It's just like also the rules are in such in their favor. Guys are working harder than ever. They're working on the right things. They're able to shoot. Big mans can shoot. And coaches are giving them the freedom to just play AAU in the NBA. And this is what you get. It's not that exciting to watch. It's just pretty simple basketball. I say it all the time. Offense always beats defense. So guys are just way more keyed in on their offensive stuff that they can practice. You can't really practice defense, especially in the NBA. You're not going to practice wasting all your energy on defense in practice. You're confined to traveling and all this stuff. So you just need some concepts put in, and then you just got to go out there and outscore some guys. Until next video, take 14 minutes, 24 seconds, or 1% of your day to get better. Peace.